Brahman. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, click the link on the bottom right. Turn the notifications bell on by clicking it, and then you'll be notified when I upload new content. I've used the phrase, the I before I am, many others have used this phrase, as a way of pointing to our eternal nature, the nameless, formless, eternal presence that resides deep within. The Bhagavad Gita talks about two ways of perceiving Brahman, this same eternal source. And so there is the invisible, formless Brahman, Naguna Brahman, and then there is the visible, formed, personified Brahman. This would be in the form of Krishna, who guides Arjuna in his difficult decisions, facing the battle of his life. And the personified Brahman is Saguna Brahman. But here I want to talk about the Naguna Brahman. This is without form or name. Naguna means not of nature. This Brahman is indefinable and unmanifested, invisible and not materialized. So we have a difficulty here, since the senses have no access to it, and there is nothing to which it can be likened. So the Gita suggests that this non-materialized Brahman, the Naguna Brahman, is a steeper climb for the spiritual aspirant. It's extremely difficult, if one works with the five senses and is in physical form, to really understand the formless. We identify ourselves with our own physical bodies and the senses that we use to navigate our way in life, and we can't help but conceptualize the eternal truth as a being in some sort of body. This is the personification that happens in many religious texts. However, in my book, No Path to Enlightenment, I'm trying to point to the indefinable, the non-materialized Brahman, that which cannot be known or conceptualized, and that is a tall task, because analogies can help us, but only so far. After that, we have to allow ourselves the grace to drop into that deeper sense of being without knowing, in a sense, a leap of faith, because it cannot make itself known to us, and we cannot make ourselves known to it. It is the formless, the ever-present, underlying truth to all things. And so what I try to do in these videos and in my writing is strip away the layers of self, egoic self, that have built up over the years through attachment and desire to worldly things, to strip that away and negate at every turn the individual's notion of being an identifiable individual self with free will, acting in the world and making decisions to try and undermine that idea, to try and strip away the layers of identity, in effect pointing to what we are not, showing the illusionary self for what it is, in the hope that once we see the illusion, we can drop into the truth of our being, the I before I am. Brahman in its truest sense. And this is union with the divine within, an inner journey that plays out in the world of forms. It's a two-way process. We go within, we find the truth of our nature, our being, and that plays out in the world of form through action, through karma, through our lives, through the decisions we make. But so often we are looking for help. We want to add to ourselves to give us the truth that we can hold within our own individual identity, and to use that truth to make our life easier and make the right decisions and release us from suffering. But of course, that way of perceiving the world is within the illusion of self. We want something. It is an attachment. It is a desire for a release of suffering. The unidentified, unnameable, unmaterialized true essence of Brahman is, of course, beyond the individual struggles we believe we face. It pervades those struggles, but it isn't those struggles. And so, if we can see through the illusion, then the struggles are part of the unfolding of what is, our karmic destinies, if you like. And there's an acceptance there that what happens is happening through us from this deepest sense of truth, that we are an expression of that truth, that all manifested forms that we see before us are expressions of that truth. Individual egoic stories get in the way and play their karmic destiny, and we allow them to play out. We do not find conflict with what is happening, whether that is events in the world or other people, events in our life, something very close to us. We see that these are plays of Maya, the dance of life, and that actually and factually we are all one Brahman, one flow of life, the Tao. We are the immovable, eternal truth. So we reside in being and non-being. We act and we have inaction. We live and we die. We have joys and sadnesses, and these are the plays of the individual stories of our life, how it plays out. These are the movements of life, all within the one immovable, eternal perfection of being. And we can personify that into individual forms on earth, either humans or mountains. We can find our way through that personification through right action and right choice by seeing it play out in nature. And by the same token, we can realize that they are still forms, and that the Brahman that is unmanifested, unknowable, unmaterialized is untouchable and by definition unknowable, but that is our true nature, and we can drop within that truth, that deeper truth, and not require a personified version of that absolute. then that noble is right before us, right in front of our very eyes, at every second of our life. If we can just see through the illusion of I, if we can step back from I am and live in the I before I am.